Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, man. I'm your host, Mr. It's Too Easy. Man, I appreciate all the love I got for the last video. But we know we at it again. We're on that Navy theme. It is October. I do have the creepy TikToks coming in October, so don't worry. The deck to be done. But if it's your first time here, what I do is I go over some of the creepy TikToks. This time we're on the Navy side of the house. But I also stream gaming content periodically throughout the week. I appreciate you taking the time to take a look at what I got going on. But with that being said, we're not going to hold it up because I got a whole list of great TikTok content coming right at you in 1 second. Let's go.
They dropped a bomb in the ocean and they told people that the Navy was testing it. Navy sets off 40,000-pound bomb to test ship. Lies. There was an attack that they sent against the aquatic families, the mermaids and the mermaids and the sirens, because they had already had word that the portal had opened to bring the mermen and the mermaids and the sirens back in. This is why you've been seeing a lot of people see the mermaids and sirens lately. But they was trying to stop this though a few months ago, and they dropped the bomb and they killed the, like, you can't kill mermaids and sirens because they're part of the spiritual family, but you can destroy their bodies and they have to just come back, which they did. But they destroyed a few of them when they did this, enough of them, you know what I'm saying? And that's what really kicked the war off. And they didn't tell people this. Now, mind you, it's already been a war going on. They already been playing with the sky since last year because they know all this was coming up. We are in the end game and it's over with. America will never win another war. None of that. It's over with for the entire system. So this is what they trying to hide, right? So this is how they responded when they tried to burn the portal and leave the planet and they couldn't. This is what they responded with. They bombed the merman and the mermaids and the sirens. Y'all seen that?
Okay.
All right. Y'all seen that blue streak, right?
Sure.
All right. Yeah. And they made it seem like they dropped the bomb. This was an underwater explosion that they did. They set off some of their little technology that, you know, the reptilians got technology. Too. All right, so that was a little technology they set off though. Ain't nothing hit the water, but they try to get people to believe that. All right, and they said they were just testing. They said we just testing a bomb. You see the blue, the sonic boom effect. Look at that. All right, y'all see that? Y'all see that?
Yeah.
All right.
I see it.
So the elites, they wasn't testing no bomb at all. They set out frequency detonators that would destroy a certain species they was looking to destroy. That's why you see this blue ray around it. Like this sonic boom blue ray. Y'all see it?
Is that right?
See it? And they know that the public, once again, if you don't know about the 4 phases of matter, okay, and by the law of vibration, you have no understanding about these other beings that are here right now in this war, okay? But that's what they did.
That's tough.
Okay? Stop the cap.
In March 1918, the USS Cyclops, a massive naval cargo ship, vanished without a trace while traveling from Barbados to Baltimore. With over 300 men and tons of manganese ore on board, its disappearance puzzled the Navy and sparked speculation. Theories began to swirl, suggesting everything from a catastrophic storm to a German U-boat attack. But no wreckage was ever found, leading many to consider more sinister possibilities. Some speculate it was a government cover-up, hiding secrets related to wartime strategies or classified cargo. Others theorize the ship fell victim to a Bermuda Triangle-like phenomenon, where vessels inexplicably disappear. Witnesses claim to see strange lights at sea around the time of his disappearance, fueling rumors of alien involvement or even time travel. Cryptid enthusiasts suggested sea monsters might have dragged the ship into the depths. Theories about secret societies orchestrating its vanishing also emerged, pointing to the ongoing mysteries of the military-industrial complex.
Interesting.
Despite exhaustive searches, the truth remains elusive, leaving us to wonder what truly happened to the USS Cyclops. Was it merely an unfortunate accident, or is there a deeper, darker truth hidden in the waves?
In 1943, during World War II,
We should have bought it
on
Seen that.
July 23rd, 2012. Look that up. Read up on it.
Okay.
On July 23rd,
July 23rd.
we had not one, not two, but three
Three.
CMEs coming straight at Earth in
hell is
a
a
line.
CME?
3 of them in a row. The perfect storm. Now, what's the CME? It's a corona mass ejection. And it's a ball of plasma. It's coming at Earth. And they generally
Ball of
travel
plasma.
just below light speed. They'll cover 93 million miles in 14 hours or less.
Jesus.
Well, these 3 CMEs come hurling in at us. And they came 93 million miles away. And they were going to hit us dead center.
Okay.
Then we have a word we use in science when we can't explain something. Phenomenon.
Exactly.
Something bumped them, but they passed so close when they went by. They were between us and the moon. They were only 110,000
That's very
miles
extremely
away.
close when you're talking about these things.
When they come from
Okay.
93 million miles away and they pass by only 110,000 miles, something bumped these things.
You were given an explanation recently. Can you talk about that, of what
Oh, gosh.
possibly, how we avoided this catastrophe?
In a panel I was on recently for Antarctica, Linda Moulton Howe said she had some whistleblowers that said there was a big ship out there that deflected the things. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But sounds good to me. All I know is something caused these things to deflect right at the
I
last
gotta do
minute.
some research on me because at
And
this point,
how serious was this? This story wasn't released until 2 years after the event. It happened in 2012. It wasn't until 2014 that the press even talked about
I
it.
heard about that.
But if you do the math, this is really interesting. If those 3 CMEs hit on July 23rd, 6 months later, probably the last human being would have died on the planet because everything would have been gone. The sun's blotted out. And that last person would have died probably on December 21st, 2012. The Mayans were right. We should have died.
Ooh.
Something intervened, something, I don't know what.
What? Dude,
But that
that's,
CME
I
event
gotta,
did occur.
I
It's not BS. It really happened.
I've heard about
verified
that.
by NOAA, NASA.
I did.
and
I read
a
about
dozen
that a
other
long
countries
time
that
ago.
saw it. It was
Have to kiss it, man. Have to.
Okay, in today's episode of Dumbassery on Parade,
Dumbassery
the
on
Navy has decided to do the above, and it's not like we've been down these roads before. What do you think is going to happen in the long term? You think more people are going to stay in the Navy or leave? Trust me, the Air Force has done this dumb crap in the past, and we're almost
true.
2,000 pilots short. Stop promoting people who think like this. By the way, if you're PCSing to Vegas, Nellis or Creech, I'd love to talk to you.
That's correct, Chris. In 2004, I was the chief master at arms on board the USS Princeton, and the technology that we witnessed with the Tic Tac was something that we would not have been able to defend our forces against at the time.
Help me understand that. As the uninitiated, what does that mean to us?
Well, sir, that means that what we saw in the Tic Tac and what Mr. Luis Elizondo describes as the 5 observables indicate a technology that outstrips our arsenal by at least 100 to 1,000 years at the moment.
100 to 1,000. So, meaning like what kind of technology was at play that you were able to identify it but know that you can't match it?
Well, first of all, the aircraft had 0 control surfaces. It had no means of propulsion that we could detect. It moved at hypersonic velocities, and it preceded the pilots to their cap point, so it seemed to have some knowledge of where the pilots were headed ahead of time, and we don't possess those abilities to do that in our arsenal at the moment. So I hesitate to speculate on the source, but I can tell you that I don't believe that this is within our arsenal of any human technology at the moment.
So, when you say that, it almost guarantees that not just your good looks, but that statement will get this picked up and sent all over the internet because there'll be a legit military person saying that maybe this is from outer space.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Nope. Cap.
Check this shit out. Look how they show you that they the enemies in their own commercial. Look.
Unexpected and unpredictable.
They tell you everything you need to know. In a commercial.
In the midst of an uncertain and evolving world, the need for Marines to defeat these shifting threats is critical.
They're showing you everything they hear about the
Because the need to ensure stability for our nation has never been greater.
I think that's just war in general.
They're playing us in a commercial, bro. In a commercial. They're showing you what they want to see, bro.
And I hope you guys do that research so that I'm not the only one who sees, or maybe I am, how sketchy the Maritime Alliance, like how sketchy they seem. What kind of people hire trafficking survivors to be the lookout for traffickers?
I don't get this.
Like, that
Interesting.
just does not sit right with my soul. Something about them is
I don't know. I
actually
can't
fucking
justify.
sketchy,
I
so
don't know
hope you
really
guys,
much about what she speaks
do the
of.
research and
I will have to
come
do
back
some
and tell me
research
what
for
you
real.
Have you heard about the phantom time hypothesis? It's a historical conspiracy theory that pretty much suggests that time as we know it is all a lie. Proposed by German historian Heribert Illig, the phantom time
It's relative.
hypothesis states that we are not living in the 21st century, but rather in the 18th century. How? Well, apparently, in the early Middle Ages, 614 through to 911 AD never even happened, and the events were all fabricated by the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and the Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII. Allegedly, they altered the existing calendar in order to place themselves in the special year of 1000 AD, creating a phantom time of 297 years. Illig's hypothesis is based on the scarcity of archaeological evidence that can be accurately dated from the proposed missing years, alongside the over-reliance of medieval historians on written sources. However, the phantom time hypothesis is heavily dismissed by mainstream historians and scholars as it contradicts verifiable historical data from around the world. Not only this, the Gregorian calendar, which was proposed in 1582, is widely accepted as accurate. So what do you think? Do we need to fact-check our history?
So the submarine exploded, and still nobody is talking about the banging they heard? We're just gonna forget that?
Yeah, everyone thought it was the submarine, but if it was the submarine, they would have found it.
So what was that banging?
I don't know. It could be anything. The ocean, I do not mess with the ocean.
Could it be those flying saucers that they're seeing fly down into the ocean every time they hit? Makes a big bang. Oh.
Or some big sea monsters.
That did make some noise.
What is happening beneath Antarctica? In 1985, a naval engineer stationed at McMurdo Station in Antarctica made a terrifying discovery. While transporting supplies and crew members to sites around Antarctica, he and his crew reported seeing circular aircraft flying above an area known as the Beardmore Glacier. However, they were never allowed to investigate further as the area was designated as an air exclusion zone. At one point, they received an emergency call to rescue an injured crew member who had gone on an expedition. The captain knew they wouldn't make it in time using conventional flight routes, so he decided to fly through the Beardmore Glacier to reach the injured individual. However, upon entering the air exclusion zone, they witnessed a giant hole the size of a football field leading beneath the ice. Eventually, they successfully rescued the injured crew member, but upon returning to McMurdo Station, they were greeted by a man in black who told them, "What you saw at the pole, you did not see. If you speak of it, you will have serious problems." Have you heard about the phantom time hypothesis? It's a historical conspiracy theory that pretty much...
They tell me stories about having participated in recoveries of crashed extraterrestrial alien craft, flying saucers. I didn't believe that either, because they were always drunk when they told me these stories, and I was a junior airman in the Strategic Air Command, and I knew that they liked to pull our leg all the time. So, when I went in the Navy, I was on a submarine, USS Taiwan, USS 416, and we were traversing
White Horse.
transiting from the Portland-Seattle area to the Pearl Harbor submarine base on the surface, about 10 knots. I was the port lookout, and it was afternoon. It was a bright day, but it was a little overcast. And the sun
I never
was
knew what he
not
looked like. This is my
out.
first time ever seeing him in real life.
And off the port bow, I was looking right at it. It came right up out of the water. A flying saucer, the size of an aircraft carrier, about 2.5 nautical miles away.
What?
Came up right out of the water with water streaming from the air around it, not from the craft itself, but from the air around it. Went up in the air and just tumbled lazily like this, and then just went right up into the clouds and disappeared. And I was just dumbfounded. Dumbstruck is the word for it. I couldn't
This is the
speak.
spherical saucer that we tend to think of.
Yeah, it
didn't look like a Klingon warrior ship or
no,
something.
no. This was round, like a dinner plate, with a raised portion in the center.
Classic.
It looked like it had vents and windows and things. It was obviously a machine. It was pewter colored. The underneath was concave. I guess it's concave. I get confused between concave and convex. But anyway, it went up in the center underneath, and then up over the top, and it was huge. And I reported this to the officer of the deck as I had seen something off the port bow, because I didn't want to tell him I'd seen a flying saucer. I didn't want to be the laughing stock of the boat. You know, in a submarine, it's a close crew, and if you're an outcast, that's it. You might as well leave forever. So
That's true.
I told him I'd seen something off the port bow, and it disappeared. I didn't know what it was, but it was something big. Would he please help me look over that area? He started looking with his glasses, and the starboard lookout heard me tell him this, and he began to look also. And then I never expected to see it again in my whole life. But either the same ship or another one just like it came down out of the clouds, tumbled again on its axis, and a hole just opened up right in the ocean, and it just went in.
So the water opened up.
Just opened up, and then the water closed behind it, and there was no splash, no nothing. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. The officer of the deck turned around to me. His name was Ensign Ball, and he just had the most unbelievable look on his face. And he just looked right at me, and he said, "This had to happen on my watch." And I knew exactly how he felt. He had to tell the captain that we had witnessed a flying saucer, and he didn't want to do that because it meant the end of his career if the captain didn't believe him. So he called the captain to the bridge, called for somebody to bring up a camera. The captain came to the bridge, the chief quartermaster behind him with a 35mm camera. And the five of us stood on the bridge and watched this repeat itself over and over again for about 10 minutes. Chief quartermaster taking photographs all the time. We were told not to discuss it with anyone, not even amongst ourselves, that it was classified, top secret. And we were not allowed to leave the boat when we reached Pearl, the five of us who had seen it. Not even the captain was allowed to go ashore until an officer from Naval Intelligence, a commander, came on board and debriefed each one of us individually in the captain's stateroom. And basically, he yelled and screamed and really threatened us with a lot of jail time, a lot of time in the brig, because he didn't like our answers. He would ask me, "What did you see out there?" I said, my first answer was, I think I saw a flying saucer, sir. And he hit the roof. Well, I'd been reared in a military family. My father was an officer. I had served 4 years in the Air Force, and now I'm in the Navy. When he did that, I knew that I had given the wrong answer. No doubt about it. And it would be futile to pursue that course.
Oh my God.
So when he asked me again, "What did you see out there?" I said, "I didn't see anything, sir, and I'd like to get out of here as quickly as possible." And he was very pleased with that. And the captain was not only pleased, but obviously relieved. And then he made me read several different regulations and laws governing the disclosure of information that would affect the national security. Had to sign a security oath. He read me the Riot Act, told me if I ever talked about this with anyone in my whole life, if I ever disclosed what it was that I didn't see, that I could be subject to 10 years in jail, $10,000 fine, and subject to loss of all pay allowances due or ever to become due. And that's how they keep people in the military and the government quiet.
The United States Secretary of Navy is listed as the assignee on several radical aviation technologies patented by an aerospace engineer working at the Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division headquarters in Patuxent River, Maryland. These patents included bizarre technologies such as, quote, a high-temperature superconductor, a high-frequency gravitational wave generator, a force field-like electromagnetic field generator, a plasma compression fusion device, and a hybrid aerospace underwater craft featuring an inertial mass reduction device. They truly sound like the stuff of science fiction and seem to describe the theoretical building blocks of a craft with UFO-like performance. The hybrid aerospace underwater craft claimed to be capable of truly extraordinary feats of speed and maneuverability in the air, water, and outer space, thanks to a revolutionary electromagnetic propulsion system and inertial mass reduction device that, according to the patent, eliminates all inertia. In other words, it allows the craft to accelerate and decelerate or make sudden turns without the occupants inside the craft feeling any G-forces. They describe this as sort of a bubble or a force field around the craft that cancels any external forces such as the atmosphere around the craft. For something that uses such high energy would need superconductors that don't melt when transferring the energy from one part to another. This is where the high temperature superconductor patent comes in handy. I know this sounds like the stuff of science fiction.
Oh man, what y'all come up with? Yo, that was a wild stuff. Wow, yo, they got some wild stuff on TikTok, man. That's crazy. Man, I hope y'all enjoyed this session. I know I did. Please leave some comments below. Let me know what your opinion on some of those things, whether you're kissing it or you're just dismissing it. You think it's crap. You know what I'm talking about? Man, again, if you like what you saw, please hit that thumbs up, man. If you really like what you saw, please hit that subscribe and turn your notifications on. I got some more videos coming this week. And I'll see y'all guys next time, man. Y'all be safe out there.